Now's the time to start planning. We're already booking spring projects, and summer slots are going to fill up fast. Whether it's a kitchen makeover, a full bath remodel, or upgrading to a custom walk-in shower, we're ready to take measurements and turn your vision into reality. Don't wait. Let's get your plans in motion today. Call Sternberg Homes and let's build something amazing together.
Sternberg Homes. You can check them out at sternberghomes.com.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me, makes me cry.
What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. That's right, weight loss seminar Tuesday, April 1st at the American Lodge and Suites Fergus Falls Conference Center at 5:30. Registration begins at 5. Stop smoking seminar at 8. Registration at 7:30. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
KBRF presents Where to Eat, the culinary adventure, sponsored by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food in Fergus Falls.
Hi, I'm Zach Daniels.
And I'm Dave Bishop, your guides to the region's culinary treasures.
Join us as we explore various restaurants, uncover delicious meals, and highlight each restaurant's signature dish.
Experience diverse cuisine types, unique atmospheres, and must-try dishes. Check it out on KBRFradio.com and the Fergus Now app.
New episodes air every first Friday of the month. Where to Eat, powered by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food of Fergus Falls.
Grant County. Your news leader is News Talk 1250 AM KBRF Fergus
now
Falls.
presents The Coaches
Depend
Show
on it.
with Craig Olson. Brought to you by Nelson Auto Center, Quality Toyota, LB Homes, American Federal Bank, American Legion, the Minnesota Motor Company, and by the Artisan Agency. Here's KBRF Sports Director Craig Olson.
Our guys got to be ready to catch and shoot and make shots, and it was fun to see Micah making shots off and got going over. You know, Micah's a stoic kid. He's a man of very few words. Pretty quiet, and it was really fun to see last night him show a little emotion, and by little I do mean it was just a little. It was a smirk, but to see him get excited about his play and puts in a ton of work, ton of time. To see him get rewarded with that in a playoff game. You know, teams game plan differently in playoffs, and every night their objective number one is how do we take Henry Bethel out of a game. Objective two, how do we limit Ryan Hurst? And guys like Micah and Jack and Alex and Isaac are going to get some really quality looks. And if they're knocking those down, now a team has to go to plan B. And when you're on plan B or C or D, your chances of scoring go up. So it's super valuable, really nice timing.
Always good to get up in a playoff game, and once you got to double digits, they never got it back to single digits. They tried hard. They got it down to 11 or 12, I think, at one time, but you had a 13-point lead at halftime, and then late in the game, you mentioned Isaiah Washington, the X factor for them, and he started knocking down some threes there in the second half, and they were trying to make a run, and it was so important for you to answer those made baskets. On a number of occasions you did.
Yeah, I thought we defended him really well. We had moved Isaac Ellison onto him. We like Isaac's length. He does a really good job staying in front of the ball. He's become a really good defender for us. And so that was the matchup we really liked. And he had 2 step-back threes that Isaac looked at me. He's like, Coach, if I'm any closer, I foul. It's a foul, right? And he still hit it. It's that's part of it. You did your job. And then on the other end, I thought late game, we were a little rushed. Apollo got into the mode where we're going to give you 2 so we can go try to get 3. And I thought we could have used the clock a little better, maybe played a little bit more under control, but it's also hard when all you see in front of you is green space,
right.
if we're using football terms, right? Yeah. You come and they gamble, and all of a sudden in front of you is the rim. Well, you got to go. And I thought there's some contact at the rim on a couple late ones, and you're not going to get those in those situations. Which provided some advantage opportunities for Apollo offensively. But I thought we did a good job of responding. Mike hit a big 3. Isaac Ellison hit a big 3. Had some tough finishes at the rim. Jack had a couple contact finishes there. Ryan had a couple big ones. So we answered well. Played relatively poised basketball in that situation. It was. We looked like a senior heavy experienced team, and that's what you're hoping for in this situation.
I got to tell you, I've done a lot of games, Matt, and I've very rarely been like I am now, speechless by something I witnessed on the court. But Henry Bethel last night, a couple of times, he did things I've never seen a high school player do, and I was like watching and not describing him. Like, how do I even describe what Henry just did? It's just incredible, his athleticism. He might be as athletic high school players I've ever covered, and that's a lot of games.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And sometimes sometimes when he's making those plays, you just hold your breath and see how it's going to turn out. And then when he hits, the last 2 games now, he's had dunks at the rim where he's taking contact and got an and one, and you just hope he gets up, right? I mean, right. He's listed at 6 foot on the roster, and I'm not sure he's quite that. But his ability to play above the rim, he's as athletically gifted of a kid as I've ever been around. It's pretty special the way he can maintain balance, play with strength, quickness, speed, explosiveness, and do that for 36 minutes. Those dunks he's had late game have been with a couple minutes left on the clock. Right? Yeah. I mean, so you've logged 33, 34 minutes and honestly, the other credit to Henry, we've given him top defensive assignments in the last few games. We've found that engages him pretty well on the defensive end. So Henry, you get Isaiah Washington. That was our initial matchup, and he smirks. I got you. I got it, coach. And we held him to 25 last night between Isaac, Henry, Micah on that matchup. So 12 of those points came late on some of those tough shots. So I thought we did a really good job there. But yeah, Henry's a pretty special athlete.
And a great pass to Ryan Hurst on that baseline jam. Wow.
Yeah, Ryan went up and that was, right, that's, again, one for a highlight reel. Ryan went and got that. Looked like he caught it outside of the backboard, right? And two-hand, got it down with authority. Pretty fun play.
Pretty exciting team to watch. And, this team gets to the line, too. You got to the line a lot last night. Is that something you picked up the last few weeks as well, more free throw opportunities?
Yeah, I think early in the year we were settling for a lot of quick contested threes, right? And so then you looked at our percentages and you're like, we're not shooting great. Well, you also aren't attacking the rim and putting pressure on a defense, and we've done a much better job of that. That's top to bottom, from guard play to post play. It really takes everybody. Ryan's gotten stronger and played a little more physical inside. Alex Ellison does a good job of drawing contact. Obviously, Henry does a good job there, too. So I think we've done a better job of attacking the rim and putting pressure on defense, getting downhill.
17-23 on the line. You take that every time for sure. Okay, now turning your attention to Alexandria. And the Cardinals, a number 1 seed in the section, one of the top teams in the state. You've already seen them twice this year. They're tough at all 5 spots. What do you do differently against Alexandria? What do you try, or do you go back to what you do best and just hope that that's enough?
Right. The $1 million question. We'll spend the weekend figuring that out as a coaching staff. I think at the core root of what you do, you are who you are, and you've developed habits and patterns and routines, and I don't think you want to stray too far from that. I don't. They're not untouchable. They're not unbeatable. They're really good. They're really talented. I have a ton of respect for them. But our job is to go in there with a fearless mentality, and I thought we did that in our last go round with them. And so you look at little tweaks. The biggest thing is you can't have a 90-second lapse, and that
right.
You can't have the back-to-back turnovers that turn into 6 or 8 point runs, because if you get 2 or 3 of those, they're up 14, 15, and they're just too talented. They're not going to cough that up easily, right? So it's keeping the game within striking distance the entire time, and that just takes 36 minutes of intense focus, and really by that I mean taking care of the basketball and taking quality shots. They transition really well. I think that's their greatest strength. It really is their ability to turn defense into offense in a heartbeat. And you blink and it was an 8-0 run. And you can't give that 8-0 run up. They're too good. So that'll be a big stress. We'll get specific game plan stuff planned out this weekend, ready for practice on Monday. But certainly taking care of the basketball and being focused on eliminating those runs is going to be the number 1 key.
All right. Very good, Matt. Good week.
It's been a great week. Yep, get to play in a section championship game. That's where you're playing from day one. So we're excited.
The goal every year, just have that opportunity. All right, thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Keep everybody healthy now.
We'll do.
The sickness and everything is beyond us.
Yeah.
Matt Johnson, head coach of the Otter Boys basketball team. More to come here on our coaches show, last one of the season. And we'll continue with basketball talk on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Coaches Show on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app.
Hi, my name is Lori from LB Homes in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. We are growing our talented and dedicated team of LPNs, CNAs, and RNs, and we want to hear from you. Join our team and make a difference in the lives of our residents every day. To explore or apply, visit lbhomes.org/careers or call Heather at 218-998-1400. LB Homes, caring for you wherever you call home.
Here's to a great season for all our favorite high school athletes. American Legion is a favorite too and serves up everyone's favorite barbecued ribs. American Legion of Fergus Falls, open each Wednesday through Saturday on Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls.
Finding that missing shin guard, remembering whether it's a home or away game, getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things, like not being that fan. Oh, come on, Ref! That's simple human sense.
Visit the Arneson Agency at their new location, 120 East Lincoln, Fergus Falls. High-quality local embroidery for your community. Running Stitches is the choice for everything, from business logos to team apparel and personal projects. They bring your designs to life. Andrew and Allison Olson from Running Stitches Embroidery are proud supporters of local sports.
At American Federal Bank, they believe in the power of teamwork, dedication, and supporting future champions. That's why they're proud supporters of local high school athletics. From Friday night lights to buzzer-beating shots, these student athletes inspire us all. Just like them, American Federal Bank is here to go the extra mile for you. Whether it's a savings account, loan, or helping you score your financial goals, let's cheer on the young athletes together. American Federal Bank, investing in the community, one play at a time. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Quality Toyota is proud to salute the achievements of each quality player. It takes teamwork to compete, and the Quality Player Award recognizes the extra effort by an individual in each athletic contest. Quality Toyota commends the hard work, dedication, and quality efforts of these outstanding youth. That attitude will help each quality player as they go forward. Congratulations to each of the quality players from Quality Toyota on West Lincoln Avenue in Fergus Falls. QualityToyota.net. Let's go places.
And we welcome you back to the program. Saturday morning, last show of the season, the winter sports season. I want to thank all the coaches who have been coming in every Saturday morning, taking out part of their Saturday to come and talk about their teams, their kids. We appreciate it. And this time of the year, of course, seasons end, and we need to fill interview spots. And Randy Hansen would normally be here at this time, but Randy's down at the state swim meet. And the Otters, I've got the update on how they did in the prelims yesterday. So they've got 5 individuals and 1 relay team going at it today at the U of M Aquatic Center. So let's just review what happened yesterday for the Otter swimmers in their individual events. At 200 freestyle, Matthew Toole was in 12th place. What happens in the state meet is the top 8 finishers in each preliminary event make it to the championship heat on Saturday, and then 9 through 16 make it to the consolation heat on Saturday. So Matthew will be in the consolation heat with a chance to move up from 12th place to as high as 9th if he gets the opportunity today and a better time, and had a good time, as Randy Hansen remarked in his story that is posted at CraigOlsonSports.com. He talked about really good times across the board yesterday. Some personal best, some very close to personal best. So, and that goes up and down the lineup. In the 200 IM, Jaden Kopinski just missed qualifying to swim today in that event, as he was 17th. And again, you have to be top 16 to move on day 2, the championship day. The 100 butterfly, Reese Hansen is in the consolation heat today. He had a 13th place finish yesterday. Kopinski made it in the 100 freestyle with a 12th place finish in that event. And Matthew Toole will swim in the consolation heat in the 500 freestyle today. The 200 freestyle relay team for the Otters did not make the cut. They finished 18th. That was Landon Vadova, Ethan Strandy, Gabe Carlson, and Jaden Kopinski. So they did not make the final day today. Reese Hansen is the only Otter to swim in the finals today, championship finals, as he finished in 5th place in the prelims yesterday. So again, top 8 go into the championship heat on day 2. And Reese will be in there today in the 100 backstroke, so we wish him well. In the 100 breaststroke, Ethan Strandy did not qualify to swim today. He wound up in 21st place. And the Otters 400 freestyle relay team just missed getting into the championship heat. They had the fastest time of all qualifiers for the consolation heat, as they finished in 9th place in the prelims yesterday. And That's Landon Vodova and Matthew Toole, Reese Hansen, and Jaden Kopinski. And they had a time of 3:21:48, and they will swim in the consolation heat today as they wind up with a ninth place finish in the prelims. So just a good first day of competition for the Otters, and again, we wish them the best as they head into the water today at the U of M Aquatic Center. One of the goals in every sport is to be competing on the last day of the season in your particular event. Well, that's what these guys are getting to do today, because this is the end of the high school boys swimming and diving season today at the U of M Aquatic Center, and we have 5 individuals and 1 relay team who are competing today. We have some basketball coming up today, and we're going to be talking more about this, but let me give you the schedule of games that we have on the radio today. And it starts at 1 o'clock over in Perham. Mark Johnson's got a double header today, double duty for Mark, as he covers the top seed in the north, Ada Borup West, against the number 4 seed, Hillcrest Lutheran Academy, at the Hive in Perham. They play at 1 o'clock this afternoon. That game will be on KJ Country, 96.5 FM. And then after that, at 2:45 or thereabouts, the number 2 seed, Park Christian Falcons, and the number 3 seed, Henning Hornets, will do battle, and Mark will have that play-by-play as well. The 2 winners move on to the semifinals, which are Wednesday in Perham. And for the 2 teams that lose today, their season ends. So everything on the line there, of course. And those games are in Perham at the Hive, 1 o'clock on KJ Country. Also, Brad Anderson is going to be at Minnewaska Area High School in Glenwood, where the West Central area boys will take on Brandon Evansville. And that one at 1 o'clock today. You will find it on Real Rock Z103 for West Central and Brandon Evansville. The other semifinal is between second-seeded Border West and number 6 seed Benson, who knocked off third-seeded Hancock the other night, 93-84. So that's the other battle there, Border West against Benson. The 2 winners will clash at Minnewaska Area High School in Glenwood on Wednesday night for the South Subsection Championship in Section 6A. Also today, the Section 8-2A semifinals are being played, and the Pelican Rapids, or quarterfinals, I should say, the Pelican Rapids Vikings will be hosting War Road tonight, and that will be a 6 o'clock start. The brackets say 7. The game time has been moved up to 6 o'clock in Pelican Rapids for that game. We're going to be talking with John Gullingsrud of the Vikings here in about 20 minutes. John's going to join us here for part of our program this morning to get an update on the season for the Vikings and what to expect tonight, but that's a 6 o'clock start in Pelican Rapids. The other game in that half of the bracket, top seed East Grand Forks will take on the Holly Nuggets in East Grand tonight. And the other half of the bracket, Perham, the number 2 seed, will be hosting Thief River Falls tonight, and number 3 seed Barnesville will be at home against Dilworth Glendon Felton this evening in the Section 8-2A boys competition. Now, the semifinals will take place back-to-back at Concordia College in Moorhead on Wednesday night, starting at 6 p.m. Now, last night at Concordia College in Moorhead, it was the Section 6A girls competition, the championship game in Section 6A girls basketball, and that was won by West Central area as they beat Underwood by a score of 56-51 last night. And the West Central area Knights are headed to state, ending that 2-year section championship run for the Underwood Rockets with a 56-51 West Central area victory at Concordia last night. So lots of stuff, lots of tournament stuff. Later in the program, too, our final interview of the show today, Jason Retzloff is going to join us. Jason, one of our broadcasters, of course, and former record holder with the Fergus Falls Otters in a number of categories, is going to join us to talk about the Spartans and their performance last weekend at Anoka Ramsey Community College as they won the Region 13 tournament and have qualified for the NJCAA Division III National Men's Basketball Tournament. Jason will be traveling with the Spartans out to Herkimer, New York, to broadcast the games on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, hopefully, of this coming week. And they open on Thursday, getting a first-round bye as the number 3 seed, and the Spartans will wait to see who their opponent is. We'll talk more about that with Jason at about 9:15 this morning. The Otter girls basketball team saw their season come to an end against the Alexandria Cardinals as they lost on Thursday night 73-52. We're going to address that with Josh Steer. In fact, that's our next interview, so we'll take a break and we will come back with Josh Steer, the head coach of the Otter girls basketball team, joining us on the other side of the break. This is our Coaches Show, our final show of the winter season here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app.
Alan Haugrud, attorney at law, has been successfully helping clients in the Fergus Falls and Ottertail County area for over 30 years. Alan Haugrud specializes in family law, estate planning, business law, general practice, and bankruptcy. When you need an experienced attorney to handle your concerns, contact Alan Haugrud for a free initial consultation today. 998-4299. Alan Haugrud, attorney at law, 121 East Lincoln Avenue, downtown Fergus Falls.
Hi, this is Pam Muxfeld, and I would just like to share what a great experience I had working with Cornerstone Cabinets. Originally, we looked at doing a total kitchen remodel, but it was hard to think about removing cupboards that were still in great shape and serve their purpose. I knew I still wanted to do something, so we downsized our project to just updating our countertop and replacing the sink and faucet. Amanda was great to work with me. Mike and his crew did a great job designing my countertop and installing the undermount sink. I would recommend you contacting them for your next project, whether it be big or small.
Cornerstone Cabinets and Countertops in their new location next to Quality Toyota on Lincoln Avenue.
If you're thinking of remodeling your home or leg place, don't wait. I'm Josh Sternberg with Sternberg Homes. Spring projects are booking fast, and summer projects are going to be filling up soon. Whether you're dreaming of a stylish new kitchen, a refreshed bathroom, or a custom walk-in shower, now's the perfect time to plan. We'll measure, help design, and make your vision come to life. Let's get started today so you can enjoy your new space by summer. Call Sternberg Homes. We're ready when you are.
Sternberg Homes. You can check them out at sternberghomes.com.
Quality Toyota is proud to salute the achievements of each quality player. It takes teamwork to compete, and the Quality Player Award recognizes the extra effort by an individual in each athletic contest. Quality Toyota commends the hard work, dedication, and quality efforts of these outstanding youth. That attitude will help each quality player as they go forward. Congratulations to each of the quality players from Quality Toyota on West Lincoln Avenue in Fergus Falls. QualityToyota.net. Let's go places.
Welcome back to the program. We have Josh Steer joining us, the head coach of the Otter girls basketball team. Otters had a win over Wilmer, 59-47, in their semifinal contest a week ago, last Saturday night, and then fell to Alexandria in the championship at Detroit Lake, 73-52. You know, back to that game against the Wilmer Cardinals, Josh, you had a couple of different types of games against them during the regular season. But overall, you know, you shot the ball so well that night, and then the key, maybe you held Wilmer to 28% shooting. Defensively, were you pretty stellar that night?
Yeah, you know, when we went into the halftime break, I think it was 40-25. We came out of the break and we're about ready to take the floor in the second half, and I looked at the girls and I said, I want us to have about enough points right now on the board to win the game. And we about did, you know. I think they got, what did they end up with? 47.
Yeah.
So we didn't quite make that goal, but anytime you keep teams in the 40s, you're going to give yourself a really good chance to win. And when you do that, it takes a tremendous effort on the defensive side to do that, especially against a good Wilmer Cardinal team. So I think the message has always been all year long was defense is going to keep you in games no matter what happens on the offensive side. And definitely with the Wilmer Cardinals, that rang true. And we knew that they had some trouble scoring from the outside, so you can kind of change the way you play. And, you know, listening to Matt Johnson talk this morning, you know, playoff basketball is a different beast because you have a little bit more time to prep for some teams, and you can game plan a little bit differently. But at the same time, you also don't stray from who you are and what you do. So you stay true to your core beliefs and and our man-to-man defense was what we were going to stick with on that night. But we knew we could give them a little bit of a step on the perimeter and keep them in front, and then we had to rebound. And I don't know if we rebounded particularly well that night, but we might have still won the battle of the boards. But our defense was kind of what we hung our hat on all year long.
36-22, the rebounding edge for the Otters.
Sure,
so better than you thought.
And I would have guessed it would have been a lot closer than that, because the ones that I remember are the ones that you really want.
That's right.
Yeah.
You hit your threes that night too, 8 out of 18 on threes, so that helps. You always want to shoot the ball well, but in the playoffs, you really want to shoot the ball well.
Yeah, when the ball's going in at the end of the year, coaches look really smart, but it's really easy to find ways. Easy is a tough word, but it's easier to find ways to win when the ball's going in. And when I think there's something about the Roosevelt gym that when it leaves a kid's hand, it's just fun to watch. It's like, oh, it's going in, and I feel like the Fergus Falls Otters have shot it really well over there.
Yeah.
And last Saturday was no different.
Bryn Sternberg drew a lot of attention this year, game in and game out. Everybody knew she's where the offense goes through. That opened up some opportunities for other people, and it opened up opportunities for Bryn to do other things, which she does well in her game, like share the basketball and rebound and defend. And in that game, Bryn was solid. She had 13 points, 6 assists, 5 steals for you. And how do you think overall your team as a whole adapted to what you were seeing out there, game in and game out, where defenses were just focused on stopping Bryn?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that we run and a lot of the stuff that we talk about in practice is, if I go set a screen for Bryn or Ruby even, they're gonna draw probably 2 defenders, and you're gonna cause some confusion for them defensively. And if I set a really good screen for a shooter coming off of it, I'm probably going to get rewarded for that by being open. And whatever happens off of that depends on what's going on defensively on their rotation. But if we can get the ball out to somebody who's open, and then draw another help side defender, and then you kick it to another kid for a great shot, maybe that's it, or maybe it's a slip to the basket and a bucket. So by getting that much attention on those two, we get a lot of other looks for other kids too.
Bella Anderson was out a few games for you earlier. She was healthy against Wilmer and has been healthy the last couple of weeks, and she had 8 rebounds that night, 5 points, and just has been a warrior out there. And sometimes you have to play when you're not 100%, and I don't know if she's still 100% or not right now, but good to have her in the lineup and available.
Yeah, she showed a lot of toughness this year, and for her, I think it was a huge personal growth for her to battle back from an injury like that. She had one early in the year before the season even started. We were scrimmaging in Holly, and she sprained an ankle, and she was back to work. She's taped it up and was back to work on Monday, and then she goes down with another ankle injury late in the year against Alec at home. And she sits out about a week, and then she's back, and all of a sudden she's in practice gear, and I'm like, "Are you sure that you're ready for this?" And she said, "Yep, I want to play." And she got back to work, taped it up, and she rehabbed really well. And the other day, she was getting taped in the training room, and she was getting ready to get taped, and I grabbed her ankle, and she was kind of like, "Ooh," and I'm like, "So you're not quite 100% then." But yeah, she battled all year long. A lot of credit to her. Showing a lot of toughness, and we sure needed it on the glass.
How about Hattie Fullhart in this postseason? She had 11 points, 12 rebounds against Wilmer. That just set the stage for what she did the other night in your game with Alexandria, where she had 19.7 rebounds. She's kind of elevated her game.
She's one of those kids that has been really fun to watch over the years, and she started to play as a freshman, and her sophomore year was kind of an extension of that, like, learning, growing process of how to score and where to score from, and what it looks like when you get that second defender, when you get to the rim, and how hard that finish can be sometimes, and maybe it's a dump off pass or a pitch to the perimeter. But it was really fun to watch her put her head down and kind of say, "No, you know what, you're not going to stop me from getting to the rim. I'm going to get there tonight." And she did that against Alexandria really well, and she finished really well. So to see her get that confidence, I think, unfortunately for us, rolling into the off season. But yeah, she really came along as the year went on and found a way to score for us when we needed her to. And we didn't always need her to, night in and night out, but she picked her spots really well, and it was tremendous for her to have a nice night the other night in DL.
And going back to, defenses concentrating on Bryn and denying her, people having to step up. Ruby Ellison did that all year for you. And against Alex, she had 5 threes and wound up with a 15-point night, but also had 7 rebounds for you. And, talking about elevating your game through the season, Ruby's come a long way this year.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw it kind of at the end of her sophomore year last year where we were getting box and one a lot, and teams were really drawing that attention to Bryn. And she kind of figured out ways like, okay, I can hit a pull-up. I can hit a 1 or 2 dribble pull-up. Okay, I can get to the rim. And this year you've seen more and more of that, but she can also really shoot it. So she's really hard to guard. She's really developed her game, and she's really developed her strength. I think that's been the biggest part for her is when you look at her now, she looks like she's really strong. And that's a great compliment because it just makes you a better athlete for her for tennis and basketball. So for her, that strength piece was huge, and it makes you a better rebounder. It makes you more explosive on the defensive side, and she's got a really nice frame. She's nice and long and gets her hands on a lot of passes and shots. So her athleticism and her ability to now score from multiple levels has been huge for us. And when you look at the season as it's gone on, this team has really found a lot of different ways to impact the game. Whether you are Julia Hychek coming off the bench or Carly Hurst going at it, the offensive glass or defensive glass or whatever it is, they find a way to impact the game in a positive way. And it's not always through scoring, but yeah, they find a way to make an impact in the game.
Yeah, Carly had 7 rebounds, 7 points against Alexandria, and 11 points against Wilmer. So doing what you have to do out there, and it does seem the more we've talked through the year, it seems that this team really has come together well and learned how to play together and as a team and turned in many just solid team performances.
Yeah, and that was kind of the message. That was the hope as a coaching staff this year was, I felt like the year prior we played kind of how are we going to find ways to win games? And a lot of that we looked to Bryn to score a lot. We looked for some, Hattie to offensive rebound for us, and we looked for very specific roles on any given night. And this year we kind of said, you know what? No, we're gonna play really fast. We're gonna get teams to go fast. We're gonna defend. We're gonna go full court with them. We're gonna pick up the pace of the game. It's gonna be a lot more fun to play. It's gonna be a lot more fun to coach. It's gonna be a lot more fun to watch. And then they really took that and ran with the fact of, we're going to play for each other. We're going to have a lot of fun doing it. They really liked being around each other, which I think was a welcome change. They really enjoyed each other's company, and practices were a lot of fun. So when you add all those things up, the results will take care of themselves, and you're going to leave Fergus Falls, the seniors, they'll leave Fergus Falls girls basketball with some really good memories, I hope.
73-52 loss to Alexandria. A couple of things about that game. While Alexandria had 5 players in double figures, they're so strong at all 5 spots. It's got to be like a really hard team to defend, put a defense, and you're a good defensive team again, but to put a defensive plan in place that's going to stop 5 girls on a night, that's pretty tough.
That's really hard, especially when you have Hadley Toole, who's a Division I college basketball player, and when you put her on the floor, so listening to Coach Johnson once again, and you're talking about game plan and how do you, the game plan for the Alexandria girls and boys is probably pretty similar, because I feel like, you have to pick your poison, and it's like, do you change what you do to try to get a win? And do you throw everything out that you've worked on all year long? Do you throw out your man-to-man stuff? Do you say, no, we're going to try some junk defense or some zone defense that we haven't really done all year? Or do you stay true to who you are? And we chose to stay true to who we were, with some tweaks. You say, okay, when Hadley Toole catches the ball, if I'm 1 pass away, and she puts it on the ground, I'm gonna come double it. And because we have to keep Hadley Toole out of 30, she can't score 30 points. We have to make her get rid of the ball. We can't let Macy Lino shoot from the outside, because she's going to hit a couple threes, and she's going to hit a couple, no matter how you play her. So how can we limit those 2 and make the other 3 on the floor beat you? Well, unfortunately for us, the other 3 on the floor beat us. But they did, so we executed our game plan pretty well, to be honest. And we made Chloe Scholl and we made Ali Habala, we made them make plays. And unfortunately for us, they made plays.
Yeah. And, you had a great run there to get down to within 12 points after trailing by, 19 at halftime? To cut it down to 12, and then just a spurt by them, a couple of threes, and I think an and one, and all of a sudden, it's back up to 20 points.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, too. And it was, the first half, we got off to a pretty good start. We kind of traded punches back and forth up and down the court, and we were neck and neck to start the game. Started with good energy, and then that's what Alexandria does, right? They kind of grind you down. They have depth, so they go about 3-4 off the bench, so they're going about 8 or 9 deep, so they can run different bodies at you, and they don't drop off a ton skill wise when they go to the bench. And so when they had enough to keep their run going, and we didn't. We got stuck on 10 for too long, and then we hit 12, and we got stuck on 12 for too long. We went a long time without a field goal in the first half. The stretch from probably about the 12-minute mark down to about the 5-minute mark, so about a 7-minute stretch where we didn't score from the field. We hit a couple of free throws, but you can't have those stretches against a really good team. And then in the second half, you come out, you're down 19. Okay, let's chip away at it. And we do. We get it down to 12, and you're thinking, okay, if we can get this to single digits, we can make things interesting. We can maybe get them play a little tighter, and maybe make them make some mistakes. But once again, you work so hard to get it down to 12 that 90-second lapse in judgment, and I know Coach Johnson was talking about that too. You have that 90-second lapse in judgment because you're fatigued, and you turn the ball over, and they take it and they capitalize on it. They either get a run out or they get a 3-pointer. I think that was the case. I think Lino or Habla maybe hit a 3-pointer, and then they got a run out and one, and all of a sudden you're down 17 again, and you're kind of like, man, we worked really hard to get it to 12. And now it's back to 17. So that's just what they do, and they're going to be successful down at the state tournament because they're built for it. And I feel like we battled really hard. We made them play a 36-minute game, and I don't know if they were entirely expecting that coming in, given our first 2 meetings. And so I think we gave them about as much as we could give them.
Holding Hadley Tool to 16. I don't know how many teams have done that this year. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad, but unfortunately, like we said, the other girls on the floor made plays, and they're all capable scorers, and that's what makes them so tough to guard.
Well, they shot 52% as a team, and
they did.
That's good.
And some of that is they made some layups on us. We had some lapses where we left a girl uncovered underneath the basket, or a run out where we just couldn't transition our defense. But but give them a lot of credit. They played really, really well, and they made plays down the stretch, and we gave ourselves a chance, and that's what you can do in March.
Well, and they didn't help you much either. I mean, Nick Keel had them for 1 turnover in the first half and 7 in the game. Well, that doesn't give you many extra opportunities.
No, and you walk away from those games and you watch. I was watching the shoot around, and I'm like, gosh, they are really fundamentally sound. And their posts are doing ball handling drills, and they're looking really good, right hand, left hand stuff, and it's kind of like they're really. Wendy Kohler, obviously a Hall of Fame caliber coach, over 700 wins, runs a great program, and they're fundamentally sound, and they play the game really physical, and they do all the little things right, and they do the little things right consistently, and that's what makes them a great program, and that's really hard to beat.
Okay, Josh, season's over, but it's just beginning in a lot of ways too. Your underclassmen who are going to come back and be the Otters next year, the varsity. What's your message to them right now, and how do you feel about the growth you saw from some of your younger players who did get on the varsity court, game to game this year?
Yeah, and I think when you look at 1 year's growth from last year to this year, we only won 2 more games, sure, on paper, but when you look at the quality of wins we had this year, beating a Brainerd and Sartell, we didn't do that last year. And some of those things, we saw a lot of growth there as far as how we play the game of basketball. And the amount of growth that we can have from this year to next year now starts now. And that was the message, when we're walking off the court in Detroit Lakes, and all the fanfare and the nets are cut down on the other side of it, and we're wearing our red ribbons, and you're walking off, and you grab a couple of those young kids, a Reese Keel, a Carly Hurst, a Presley Warren, and you say, okay, the off-season starts now. And what that off-season looks like now in the spring is how can we get stronger? How can we build our strength? Coach Rat's in the weight room. Go see him. We're gonna get stronger, because that's gonna be the biggest difference in making us better athletes and better defenders. So you do that to start the year, and then we get in the gym come summertime and start planning those things. So the off season is really exciting. It's different, but it's a really exciting time, and that's your seasons are really won and lost in the off season. And that's a pretty understated thing sometimes, but yeah, we got to be bigger, faster, stronger next year. That's always the goal, and definitely more fundamentally sound and skilled, top to bottom.
All right, Coach. Appreciate your coming in every week, keeping us posted on your team's progress. Great season for the Otters. Finishing with a record of 20. Where did it go here? 21-8.
21-8.
Hey,
yeah, 21 season.
Absolutely.
It's pretty good. Well, thank you, Craig. I know the whole community and the whole area appreciates all you do for high school sports. So thank you.
Hey, blessed to do what you love to do where you love to do it. That's kind of my motto. So thanks, Josh.
Yeah, thank you, Craig.
Josh Steer, the head coach of the Otter girls basketball team. More basketball talk. I mean, hey, it's March Madness. What else would we be talking about right now, right? So we'll take a break here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app.
Portions of today's program may be pre-recorded.
Hi, this is Pam Muxfeld, and I would just like to share what a great experience I had working with Cornerstone Cabinets. Originally, we looked at doing a total kitchen remodel, but it was hard to think about removing cupboards that were still in great shape and serve their purpose. I knew I still wanted to do something, so we downsized our project to just updating our countertop and replacing the sink and faucet. Amanda was great to work with me. Mike and his crew did a great job designing my countertop and installing the undermount sink. I would recommend you contacting them for your next project, whether it be big or small.
Cornerstone Cabinets and Countertops in their new location next to Quality Toyota on Lincoln Avenue.
Alan Haugrud, attorney at law, has been successfully helping clients in the Fergus Falls and Ottertail County area for over 30 years. Alan Haugrud specializes in family law, estate planning, business law, general practice, and bankruptcy. When you need an experienced attorney to handle your concerns, contact Alan Haugrud for a free initial consultation today. 998-4299. Alan Haugrud, attorney at law, 121 East Lincoln Avenue, downtown Fergus Falls.
If you're thinking of remodeling your home or lake place, don't wait. I'm Josh Sternberg with Sternberg Homes. Spring projects are booking fast, and summer projects are going to be filling up soon. Whether you're dreaming of a stylish new kitchen, a refreshed bathroom, or a custom walk-in shower, now's the perfect time to plan. We'll measure, help design, and make your vision come to life. Let's get started today so you can enjoy your new space by summer. Call Sternberg Homes. We're ready when you are.
Sternberg Homes. You can check them out at sternberghomes.com.
Here's to a great season for all our favorite high school athletes. American Legion is a favorite too and serves up everyone's favorite barbecued ribs. American Legion of Fergus Falls, open each Wednesday through Saturday on Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls.
Hi, I'm Chris Cannon with the Humane Society of Ottertail County. Trying to get in more steps this year? Here's a great idea. Become a dog walker for the Humane Society. When you take one of our dogs out for a walk, you're giving them exercise, fresh air, and a chance to learn basic commands and manners, all of which helps them to find their forever home. It's a win-win. You stay active and they get closer to adoption. Call the Humane Society at 218-739-3494 to learn more and start walking with purpose in 2025.
Welcome back to the program, and we welcome John Gullingsrud in from Pelican Rapids. Good to see you, John. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Well, John's had, quite a year. Last year they went to state, the Vikings winning that Section 8-2A title, and now they're trying to get back into that position to defend that title. And let's start there, John, because this section, at the top of the section, you've got some really tough teams.
Yeah, for sure. I think, with the quarterfinals going on today, there's probably a lot of teams thinking they're still right in the mix. It's not just maybe the top two, but 3 or 4 teams. There's some good teams up there, but everybody kind of 1 through 9 that's left over here they probably got some confidence. They go on a run. They feel like they can get this thing.
You just suffered an injury. Charlie Larson is out for the year. How does that affect what you're doing right now as far as your depth? And we talked, a little bit. It's the next man up always.
Yeah, that's the way you got to look at it. Next man up. We've played a lot of guys throughout the course of the regular season. So we've got depth where players have some experience from throughout the course of the season. It's just hard. We've kind of told our guys you can't replace one guy. Charlie, He's started for 3 years since he was a sophomore. He just scored 1,000 points this year. So, that's our second leading scorer. So he's a big cog in our system. And he just plays so hard. He's just a hardworking kid. He rebounds like crazy, even though he's probably only like 5'10" or 5'11". So it's a big loss, but we feel like we're capable. We've got plenty of guys that can step in and try to fill those shoes. But it can't just be one guy either. It's kind of everybody's got to kind of raise their level and try to make up that loss that we've got.
Well, and roles shift a little bit when you lose somebody. You got to move somebody in there and then move somebody to cover the spot you're leaving to cover the other spot, and that's where the coaching strategy comes in, why you get the big bucks, right? You ever feel jinxed, though? I mean, Guler, Benson, Trayvon Benson this year, you've had a lot of injuries to key players that have had to alter your whole strategy to what's our team look like this year.
Yeah, for sure. The last few years, it's been rough when you lose some key guys and the leaders too. They're leaders on the floor, and Trayvon Benson, like you mentioned, he was kind of slotted to be our starting point guard this year, and just kind of run our defense, and he lost him in the last game of the football season that they played. So, but it's just, it's a credit to the depth and the quality of kids that we got, kind of 1 through 18. So everybody just kind of seems to step up and keep moving.
Well, and you've got a lot of multi-sport athletes, a lot of guys that contribute to a good football season, come off and bring that momentum into the basketball season. And I know most head coaches love that, that they're playing multiple sports because they're into the competitive mode. When you get them in the gym, they're already, intense and ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. The more sports you play and the more situations you put yourself in to compete, the more playoff situations you're in, I think that just hardens you and kind of just makes you a better competitor.
You're the number 4 seed here in Section 8-2A in the playoffs. Is that kind of where you thought you'd wind up looking at the season as a whole?
Maybe not at the start of the season, but kind of how the last month shook out. We had our chances to maybe stake our claim to a little bit of a higher seed, but we lost to East Grand Forks in our one matchup. Perham, we lost the game at home there. That could have been a big one, and then Barnesville swept us. So, you kind of deal with that. But once it kind of all shook out, and we're in that last week of the regular season, kind of figured we'd probably end up there because those 3 teams above us, they got reasons for being there. So, yeah, kind of figured where we'd be.
Well, when you lose to like Barnesville twice and to Perham and to East Grand, okay, they're all above you, but kind of gives you a little extra motivation and fire, doesn't it, at tournament time?
Well, yeah, it should. And it wasn't like we were handily beating those games. We were right in there, and we had our chances. So, I don't think our kids are afraid of any team ahead of us, but we kind of earned our spot where we were.
Yep. Against Monaga, you did what you had to do. I mean, you were favored there against the Braves, who were the number 13 seed, and you got them 78-20, held them to 7 second-half points. It was one of those games where you had to know, on paper, we're going to win this game, and yet you have to tell the kids, hey, we got to go win this game, right?
Yeah, it was kind of the message was play to our standard. You're not worried about the opponent at this time of year. It's just do what we do offensively and defensively, play consistent, and kind of play to the standard that these guys have set throughout the course of the season.
And you did have guys step up. Grady Larson at 15, Jack Welch had 10, but then a couple of guys with 9 points, Channing Russman and McLean Hovland. You've had a lot of different guys contribute, and it seems like, I don't know, is this a pretty tough team to defend? Do you think you've got a lot of pieces there?
Yeah, we feel like we're pretty balanced. We got some guys, I'm sure, that stand out at the top with Miguel Torres, who's, 2-year starter for us and played a little bit as a freshman. He's a junior now. He's our leading scorer. But yeah, it's pretty balanced. I mean, it's not like he scores 25 a game and then we have just a little bit here and there. We've got, he scores, and then you mentioned Grady Larson's had a great year. Jack Welch, basically after Christmas break, has really played well for the last 2 months. And so we got some pretty decent balance. Ethan Eisman, a sophomore, he's stepping in kind of that Charlie Larson role that needs to be filled. So, and then just some other guys that have been super consistent all year. Brody Severson, Channing Russman. So got a lot of guys that can score the ball.
And you have a lot of seniors. How much do you as a coaching staff, lean on those seniors at tournament time?
Yeah, you do. They've got veteran experience, and it's not only them. Good group of seniors that have been through a lot of situations, but even our junior class with Jack Welch and Miguel Torres, and you mentioned McLean Hovland, Sadiq Farah, and some sophomores like Grady Larson, Ethan Eisman. They were significant contributors last year off the bench as freshmen. So, we don't even really consider them sophomores at this point. They've played a lot of basketball. They're at the end of their sophomore season. So just a lot of experience out there, which as a coach, makes me comfortable.
War Road tonight. You haven't seen them this year as far as an opponent goes. I'm sure you've seen a little video on them, but what do the Warriors bring?
Yeah, they've had a great season. I think I wouldn't say anybody at the start of the season in our section probably would have picked Warroad to have the season they had. Just kind of an unknown a lot of times up there, and you don't see them very often. But yeah, just watching some of their games, they got a really, really good 5-man big kid, Liam Grover, big, strong. I think he's kind of their go-to guy, so he's going to challenge us in the paint. Really good point guard that handles the ball well and can score, and is a really good passer. I think is kind of his biggest thing. That and overall, just a strong physical team. They pass the ball well, and they can shoot it well. And then you got that big guy in the middle, so they present a lot of problems.
How about your defensive game as a team right now? Are you where you want to be defensively? You feel like that's been a strength for you all year?
Yeah, I mean we've kind of hang our hat on that defensive end, and there's always things that we pick on. We're trying to be perfect on that end. There's always stuff that you can pick out, all these details, but I think our biggest thing, our kids always play really, really hard defensively, and it's not always the right thing, and they don't always do it perfect. But when you play hard and you play with a defensive mentality that they do, yeah, that's where our whole system starts.
I don't know if you need to give much of a pep talk, tonight. I mean, these guys are playing their final game on their home court, especially your seniors. Hey, your last go around at home. And the carrot out there is we get to play at Concordia. If we win, that's a pretty big incentive right there.
Right, yeah, there's a lot of motivation tonight. It's, and that was kind of the nice part about being able to play Thursday. And, top 3 teams get a bye, and we had that last year in the section playoffs. And it's kind of hard because all of a sudden you're here on Saturday, and it's going to be a tough game. So for us and some of our guys, and especially losing Charlie that last regular season game, it was nice to get a game in on Thursday just to get maybe some of those playoff jitters out, and your schedule's different. You don't have a game before you, and just kind of figure out that routine. So, but yeah, motivation should be pretty high. And again, a lot of these guys that we got, they went through the situation last year, and I think they're pretty hungry to try to get back there again.
There's nothing like tournament basketball, and tournament basketball at Concordia just ratchets it up a notch. I imagine you got to play some high school playoff games at Concordia, and, it's quite an emotional setting, and the fans get into it, and just a great experience you want your kids to get.
Yeah, exactly. I think anybody in this area that is kind of a hoop head and knows basketball at all, like high school playoff basketball, Memorial Auditorium is kind of the mecca and the place that you want to get to. So that's kind of the goal from the start of the year. You put that up there, and you want to get there. And we play a regular season game there just to kind of get that feel.
Yeah.
And yeah, you watch games this week. You watch some of the girls' games that are there, and just fantastic games and the crowds. And yeah, there's just really nothing like it.
Talk about your coaching staff. Who's helping you out?
Well, our varsity assistant Dave Rund, pretty well known in the area. He's kind of in charge of our defense, so it's kind of nice for our guys. Just he gets them going every day on that defensive end in practice, and just done a fantastic job of getting our kids to just buy in and just really sell out on that end. So we got him, and then Adam Johnson has been our JV coach ever since I've been head coach, which I think is 13 years now, maybe.
Yeah.
So he's been by my side just the whole time. And then Derek Nelson, almost the same as Adam, just maybe a couple years shorter. He coached our 9th grade, and he's got so much experience, and it's just a veteran staff, and everybody sees things differently and brings up different points. And man, it's fun to have a group of assistants like that. We work so well together and trust each other so much. It's a big key for us.
Be fun to be sitting in that coach's room listening to all the strategy, and the basketball IQ is like through the roof with that group. So.
Yep, there's a lot of experience there.
Yeah. John, thanks so much for driving over from Pelican for the show today, and good luck tonight. And I know the goal is always get to the state tournament, and you have to get to the section championship game before you can do that. You're a couple steps away, but competitive section, you've had a competitive season, 21 wins, I think, for the Vikings. So good luck tonight at home, and I'm sure you'll have a packed crowd because Pelican Rapids basketball fans are pretty rabid this time of year. They're going to be there supporting this group for sure.
Yeah, it's a fun time of year. It's March basketball, and the town of Pelican is always a basketball town, so it should be a fun night.
I remember years ago covering Pelican Barnesville and doing a pregame interview with Rex. And Rex said, well, my advice to fans is if you're coming to the game, get here early, because when Pelican and Barnesville play, every seat is taken. It doesn't matter who your opponent is. I don't think they're going to come.
Yeah. We love the support from the community.
All right. Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
John Gullingsrud, head coach of the Pelican Rapids boys basketball team. We're back with more basketball on the other side of the break as we're going to talk Hillcrest girls with Hannah Clark, and we'll be back to do that here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app.
High-quality local embroidery for your community. Running Stitches is the choice for everything, from business logos to team apparel and personal projects. They bring your designs to life. Andrew and Allison Olson from Running Stitches Embroidery are proud supporters of local sports.
Hi, I'm Sue Tate. It's easy to put things off. Exercise, housework, kitchen remodel. Now there's one thing I shouldn't have put off because it just took one call to Mike at Cornerstone Cabinets and Countertops. I now have the kitchen I was dreaming about for years with lots of features and changes that I hadn't even thought about. Thank you, Mike and crew at Cornerstone Cabinets and Countertops. I love my new kitchen.
Cornerstone Cabinets and Countertops, located next to Quality Toyota on Lincoln Avenue, Fergus Falls.
I'm Derek Sidian with KBRFradio.com News. Join me live every Friday on KBRFradio.com or the Fergus Now app for the weekly news recap, where I recap this week's hottest local news and you catch up on what you might have missed. The live stream starts at 12:30 and will be available to watch after the stream ends. The KBRFradio.com weekly news recap is brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorial.com, memorials that matter.
Folks, listen up. This is Chris Cannon, Executive Director at the Humane Society of Lauderdale County, and boy, do we have cats for you. We've got new cats, we've got certified pre-owned cats, low mileage cats, high mileage cats, cats will chase your mice, and cats that are a little too afraid of them. Whatever you're looking for, we've got the perfect match. Cats of every color, shape, and size. Don't let these little beauties slip through your paws. Come on down to the Humane Society in Fergus Falls and take a test meow today.
News, talk, sports, and ag information. News Talk 1250 AM KBRF, Fergus Falls. Depend on it.
And welcome back to the Coaches Show. Final show of the winter sports season today. And Hannah Clark is with us to talk about her Hillcrest girls basketball team. Comets, what a year. 24-5, best year in the history of Comet girls basketball. And you really took some steps forward this year, Hannah, with this group.
Yeah, we did. I'm just so proud of the girls. And I think one of the hardest things to really let the girls, let it sink in is we didn't get the end result that we wanted, but there was so much to be proud of, and it was such a successful season. So continuing to remind them that, the success of our season doesn't depend on that last game and how that went. And so I hope that they're able to look back and, just be proud of what they were able to accomplish.
Well, yeah, a lot of highlights, a lot of things to look back on and be proud of. And you beat Park Christian last Saturday, 65-47 in your playoff game, and then went up against an Underwood Rocket team that was a two-time defending section champion. And you knew you were in for battle there. That was your third meeting with them this year. 56-41 the final, but I'm sure, going into that one, you knew Brian's team pretty well. He knew your team pretty well, and you want to get off to a fast start. They got off to the fast start.
Yes, and credit to those Underwood girls. They came out and shot lights out. The first two meetings, they didn't shoot as well from the three-point line, and so that's what we were going to give them this game, and they came out, and I think they started 7 for 7 behind the three-point line, and I don't think Callan or Trinity had a single one of those threes. So their girls stepped up big, and they were able to knock down their shots. And then I think after that happened, our girls just played a little bit back on their heels, and they weren't ever able to overcome that deficit. And then against a good defensive team like Underwood, you get down big. It's hard to come by points, and so it was we just made it tough for ourselves to finish out. But I thought they played extremely hard, and like I said, against a good Underwood team, our shots weren't falling like they typically do as well. And Underwood did a great job on Elin and Elsa, really limiting their shots. But fun game. Proud of the girls, how hard they worked until the final buzzer. And it was a fun atmosphere there.
Yeah, against Park Christian, Elsa and Elin combined for 50 points and were hitting shots all over. And then to have Underwood come out, and their game plan had to be, we're going to not let them beat us. We're going to shut them down. And Brian Hovland's a very good defensive coach, and they executed that. And you know, it can be very frustrating when I'm sure you've had that as a good shooter through the years. Somebody knocks you down, you know. And how did Elsa and Elin try to get things going that day? Because there just wasn't much opportunity.
Yeah, you know, they didn't get many touches as well. Anytime they were coming off screens, they were met with 2 other defenders there ready to help off. And we had girls that had some great open looks, and they just didn't fall. You know, I think to start the second half, we had Ruby Peterson 3, and Ella 3, and Ella layup, and a Kate Olstead 15-foot jumper, which they're all very capable of making those at a high percentage, and they just didn't go in. And, you know, if we make those to start the second half, instead of being down 16, 18, you know, we're down 9, 10, and that really, just mentally, really changes the game for us. So I thought we had some good looks for our girls, and we just couldn't connect that night, and sometimes that's the way it goes. I thought they were good looks, and Elsa and Elin continued to try to get open, but like I said, and you said, Underwood's a great defensive team, and anytime they had any room to breathe, they were met with 2, 3 more defenders every time they touched the ball.
Ella Knutson led you with 18.6 rebounds. It was starting to come around after that injury, and it's hard to come off an injury and go full bore and get back to where you were, but it looked like she was making good progress.
Yeah, which was so fun to see her go out like that. I think her biggest thing was just that mental aspect of wanting to get into, you know, into the paint and not being afraid of contact. And she was finally getting there. I would have loved to see, you know, 1 more game, 2 more games, because I think she was really getting to be more herself. But I'm just proud of how she looked to attack. We knew we needed someone to get something going, and she was that girl. She wanted the ball in her hands, and she shot the right shots. She attacked. And so I was happy for her, so she could say, you know, I felt back to myself.
Second half was pretty even, but it's just that start that really, you get in a hole like that against a good team and a strong defensive team, it's just hard to dig out.
Yeah, you know, and our press wasn't doing much. They did a good job handling our press, so we weren't getting any looks in transition. And I think for our girls, that's the way we get going. If we get 1 or 2 buckets in transition, it really opens up the floor. And so Underwood just executed on both ends of the floor, making things difficult. And you know, when you're down big, it's tough. You need to expend a lot of energy trying to come back, and towards the end, we just didn't have enough to keep going.
Back to the Park Christian game over in Perham. That game you mentioned in your post-game comments is probably the best defensive game you played all year.
Yeah, you know, we had 3 practices leading up to the Battle 8 game, 1 more practice before our Park Christian game, and we really just said we are not going to game prep for either team necessarily. We are just going to focus on defense. I think that's one area in our half court where we could really improve. And so our girls are probably so sick of defensive drills after those 3. But I think it really helped, and it really showed that our girls made that a focus, and just not letting anything come easy to Park Christian, who's a great shooting team, who have got girls who can get to the hoop. And I think our girls just did such a good job. I thought our press was very effective in making them uncomfortable. And then I also thought that just our half-court defense, our help side, and our defensive rotations was probably the best it's ever been.
Well, that good momentum going into that game then off that win. Kate Olstead reached a milestone that night. You've had a few milestones this year, and that's always fun to celebrate kids who reach milestones.
Yep, and you know, 1,000 rebounds, you don't see that as often as 1,000 points, and that just goes to show how hard she works. She really takes pride in her rebounding, and that's one thing that we always tell her, you know, Kate, we'd love to see you score, we love to see you do X, Y, and Z, but rebounding, we need you to go out and rebound for this team, and she really took that to heart, and you know, I think that was just shows how hard she works and what she's willing to do for the team. I'm just super proud of her, and our girls were so excited for her. And I mean, 1,000 rebounds, 1,000 points, what a way to end her career.
Well, and your team came a long way in the rebounding game this year. You've had a great rebounding year.
Yeah, we did, and you know, and everyone contributes from our point guards all the way to our post players. They really really took to heart that we need to rebound. There were some games where we knew teams, averaged 12, 13, 14 offensive rebounds a game, and that would be a struggle for us if we gave them second chance opportunities. So our girls made that a focus, that they were just going to go get every ball. And I thought towards the end of the season, our rebounding was much improved from the beginning of this season. And so hopefully we can carry that over into next season, knowing that to win games, we need to rebound the basketball.
And your seniors, you don't have a lot of seniors, but you're going to miss them for sure.
We are. Kate, just her work ethic and just her presence within the team, she makes everyone feel so welcomed and so encouraged. And her leadership is what we are really going to miss. Ruby Peterson, I mean, she's going to be hard to replace. She's our, career leader in assists, career leader in steals. She was just such a floor general and brought that competitive edge. And so to replace that is going to be tough. It may take, 2 or 3 girls to fill what she brought. But both girls have been such an important part of our program the last couple of years in turning this program around and where it is today. And more so even than the basketball, they're just so much fun to be around. We're going to miss their personalities and their bubbliness and their smiles. So that was hard to say goodbye to them. But we'll just continue to keep their memory going forward and continue to try and embody what they stood for.
I was telling John Gullinger it would have been fun to sit in the coach's office and listen to the basketball conversation with his assistant coaches, all the IQ that they have from this game. I'd like to sit in your coach's office too. I mean, you've had just a great year. You've got Greg Preston as the defensive genius, and Ryan Retzloff would probably help the rebounding part of literally the game, and JP Stender. You've got some really good coaches, and as a head coach, how crucial is that to what you're doing?
Yep, they have been so important to the success of this team. Like you said, Coach Preston with his defensive mindset, the rest of us, we probably enjoy offense a lot more than we do defense. And so to have his eye on everything has just been wonderful. The girls have loved having him come along, to have I don't know how long he has coached, but he's a Hall of Fame coach. Yep. Stepped up, he wanted to coach our junior high season. So here we've got a boys Hall of Fame coach coaching our junior high girls. And then he said, you know what, I want to help you guys out at the varsity level too. And he was such a great addition. And Ryan and JP just have such basketball minds as well. And they connect with the girls. These 3 guys would do anything for all of these girls, even to I think after the JV season ended, JP let all the girls sign his head. And he came out in the varsity game with his head signed with markers. And so they just love those girls, and they've invested so much. And these girls really respect them. And so we're able to coach them in a way that these girls will take feedback, take instruction, and really want to do better for themselves and for this coaching staff.
Yeah, what a great season. Well, congratulations on a great run. And last night, West Central area beat Underwood 56-51 in the section championship game. And just shows you how tough this section was. We talked about it before this playoff started. This is going to be a tough, wide open section.
Yeah, and I don't know off the top of my head, maybe 6, maybe 7, maybe not quite 7, but teams had 20-plus wins.
Yeah.
And I don't think you see that in every section. And so I think it's tough to look at our section and say, who's going to come out on top? Because everyone had such great seasons and tough matchups against one another. And so it was fun to see. It's, a little bummer. I wish somehow there's no way of doing this, but, everyone gets seeded like they do for the NCAA tournament and play it that way, because I think there's more than one team in this section that could really compete down in the cities next week. But just fun to have that level of competition in our section, to know that, to go down to the state tournament, we're going to have to beat the best teams as well. And so just congratulations to West Central. They've had a great season as well. Congrats to Underwood. It was a close game last night, a fun game. And so we're excited and cheering for West Central as they head down to the cities next week.
And the Knights had to win in overtime against Breckenridge to get to that game last night.
Nothing is easy.
Oh, man. Thanks so much, Hannah, for coming in throughout the season.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Hannah Clark, the head coach of the Comets. Jason Retzloff's going to join us next, so we're going to talk a little Spartan basketball, and Jason will be covering the games in New York this week in the NJCAA Division III Men's National Tournament. So more on that after we take a break here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app.
When addiction takes hold, it's easy to feel like no one can help. But you're not in this alone. For 75 years, Hazelden Betty Ford has been at the forefront of addiction and mental health care, evolving treatment, reimagining recovery, and breaking through barriers to help families everywhere find healing. So please reach out at 855-489-2383. Help is here. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation and aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
CPAs that are certified to win. Smith and Sam. Smith and Sam Limited.
When you're on a trip and you're not sure how to navigate towards your destination, chances are you use a GPS. And when it comes to accounting, think of Smith & Sem as your GPS for bookkeeping. Smith & Sem will always guide you through the best path for your business needs. Smith & Sem, your numbers team, Fergus Falls.
Hi, my name is Peggy Stockinger, and thanks to Bonnie and her design from Cornerstone Countertops, we got the pantry we always wanted in our kitchen. She helped us with the style and the color of our cabinets, and with the help of Keith and Wayne's installation expertise, we were able to make some adjustments, and the cabinets and countertops came out great. Thank you, Bonnie, Keith, and Wayne at Cornerstone Countertops.
Cornerstone Cabinets and Countertops, located next to Quality Toyota on Lincoln Avenue, Fergus Falls.
Hi, this is Josh Sternberg with Sternberg Homes. If you're dreaming of remodeling your home or lake place before summer, now's the time to start planning. We're already booking spring projects, and summer slots are going to fill up fast. Whether it's a kitchen makeover, a full bath remodel, or upgrading to a custom walk-in shower, we're ready to take measurements and turn your vision into reality. Don't wait. Let's get your plans in motion today. Call Sternberg Homes and let's build something amazing together.
Sternberg Homes. You can check them out at sternberghomes.com.
Welcome back to the program, and Jason Retzloff is here. Welcome to the show.
Great to be here, Craig. And am I rounding the show out? Are we?
You're the last interview of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, wow.
So
All right.
make it good.
Yeah.
Now, Jason's headed to New York. You've made that trip before.
Yeah, three times. It won't be to the exact location, but pretty close. Within a couple hours of Delhi, New York, was where we went.
Yes.
Those other times. So, and we're going to be Herkimer, New York. We're staying in Utica, New York with the Spartans, and it's going to be, I think it's a couple hours north of where Delhi is.
Okay. Important thing is it's only a half hour from Cooperstown or thereabouts. But yeah, this is what an exciting time. It's been a while since the Spartans made it to the national tournament. There was a stretch there where we were going like every other year, but this means a lot to get the program back to this level. And what a job Dave Cressup has done in just his second year as head coach. And I think he's just really been a great motivator for these guys. And obviously these guys have come together so well. I mean, 29-2, a pretty amazing year.
Yeah, he's done an incredible job. He is such a teacher of the game. So big on this team has been so good defensively. Teaches defense so well, and the biggest thing is that they've all really bought into what he has tried to bring, and the mentality that to play with it. You're always going to play hard. You're always going to compete. You may not win all the time, even though that's what we've done most of the time this year. But that is going to always be there, and you're going to be in games if you do that. So the players have bought into that. You've seen the relationship grow throughout even the last 2 years, with him. And man, he's got the resume too. He's been there before, and you can see that out on the floor. His preparation's unbelievable. And I know how much film he watches and all that, but I got a firsthand view of it when I was with the team this weekend, and immediately prepping his team and coming to the shoot around, just watching what they're doing to get ready for their opponents. No team is more prepared than ours with Coach Cressup. And Brian Schwantz also by Dave's side for so many years at Perham has just been a pleasure to have in our program as well too. And to have someone like him by his side who knows the game so well, has a character is so strong. We're just appreciative of both of them for the tremendous job they've done.
They're knowledgeable, they're passionate, they're energetic, they're great ambassadors for the college and for the team. It's a great duo that you have coaching.
The love of basketball there is it's relentless. Is a good word I would say, which is such a cool thing, and the players see that, and the players feed off that, and the players realize how excited their coaches are about what is coming up, or the opponent, or the next drill and practice. It goes down to that level. So it's been tremendous to watch.
Well, and you talk about the players buying into what he's coaching. I think the other thing, the flip side is Dave Cressup has invested himself in these guys, not just as basketball players, but as people.
No doubt, and that's the academic side. We've had a good year academically with this group, where they're doing a good job in the classroom. They're applying themselves. And I know Dave really pushes that hard, but the character aspect side of it too is it's a really good group of young men that we're proud of at the college. And at our send off the other day, President Carrie Brimhall talked about that as well too. How proud she is of the team and how many comments she's gotten, and I've gotten so many comments as well about what a good group they are. That they compete hard, but represent us in a great way, and that comes from the top down for sure.
Let's go back to last weekend. You saw 3 games in 3 days with the Spartans outscoring their opponents by a combined 105 points in those 3 games. I mean,
I didn't know that stat. Thanks, Gray. Yeah,
you're welcome.
Yeah,
I love stats like that. But they were not just good. They were dominant at times in that tournament. And the amazing thing to me, Jason, is Game 3. You had 4 guys play 40 minutes out there. How do you do that on the 3rd day in a row at that level?
Yeah, it was something. That's a pretty cool number. It was a dominant performance. The roughest time was the first 4 minutes of the first game against Mesabi. I think we turned it over 5 times in the first 4 minutes, and then the last 116 minutes of the tournament was just a complete dominant display of basketball to go and. And Mesabi, who we played in the first round, is not a great team in our league, but they're not a bad team. They have athletes. They have guys that can play, and we win by over 50 in that one. Bridgewater's a good team that took us in round 2 I think they were up on us with 5 minutes left at home, and it was a close game with 10 minutes to go, and it was close for a while in the first half. Then Fode and Jonas got unleashed. They had a couple of the best dunks you'll see at this level. Opened up a 15-point lead and extended it past 30. And then in the championship against Riverland, really a game that had a lot of hype. The 2 top teams in the league all year long, and we jump out 11-0 and only give up 18 points to a Riverland team that averages around 85 points per game. That was to me. There's no surprise that we handled them, because we did handle them at their place or beat them, but to hold them to 18 points was one of the best defensive performances I've seen watching Spartan basketball for the last 40 years of my life. So that was so impressive to have the game essentially not quite over, but pretty close, 43-18 at half. And that kind of reminded me too. It was kind of cool. We were talking, and I was talking to Dad and Dave Cressup about this, and that some of the parallels from this team to our 97-98 championship team that went undefeated. We went into the championship game against a Minneapolis team that was undefeated, and we were rated 4th. We were undefeated. Minneapolis was 23-1, and they were hosting us, and we were 4 in the nation. They were 7. Well, with this team, Riverland was 6 in the nation. We were also 4 in the nation, and there was kind of a build at that time. There was a huge buildup with neutral parties being really excited to watch Minneapolis and FFCC duke it out and go down to the wire. And I think there was some of that maybe with Riverland and M State for this game because of the buildup. And the Spartans did not grant their wishes, because we scored 66 on Minneapolis in the first half. They pressed us and we kept throwing it over the top and blitzed their press. In fact, they had to come out of their press for the first time all year in the second half, down by 23 points because we just. But then with M State and Riverland currently same thing where they just blew the roof off of Riverland and they didn't have a chance. And so there's kind of some neat parallels there with how the championship game was, big matchup, and those teams kind of stepping up and really performing at a high level.
I hope those parallels continue here this next week, because if they do, we'll have a national champion again.
I sure hope so. That would be incredible. Yep.
So tell us what you know about the tournament field and what the Spartans are looking at as far as their schedule. They did get the first round bye as a number 3 seed, which was the first win of the national tournament, right? You don't need to play that first game.
Yeah, and I forgot to answer the last little bit that you had about the players playing, 4 players playing 40 minutes in the third game. You know, that's nice. You know, the rotation certainly is tight at this point where Dave is going with his guys as long as they're feeling like they have the energy. Or I know if anyone's a little bit tired, they bring someone in and come out right away. But that's nice not having to play that first game. You know, instead of having to win 4 to win a championship, now you're down to 3. Now you're in a situation. Well, we already did that last weekend. We already won 3 games in a row. So that was big. That's what we felt we were playing for in that championship game with Riverland. We were pretty confident that both teams were going to get in that large bid, whoever lost that game, but probably the winner was going to get a bye, and so that was at stake, other than just winning the championship, which is what you really want. But so we'll play Thursday, and it'll be 7:00 Central Time. Thursday against Genesee or Union College. Whoever wins that game would play us at 7:00, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday are the games, and the field looks really good. I haven't watched any film. If we had Coach Kress up here, he's probably watched all of them at this point.
Yeah, probably.
You know, but sounds like they're Union College. The little bit I spoke with Dave yesterday about them, they got some size, some pretty good size. We might have some speed and athleticism advantage where maybe we don't have those the big 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" type. But one thing is we will defend. The Spartans will defend and be in games. And if we shoot the ball really well, you see what happened this weekend. That's what happens with the way we can defend. So we'll go in there and compete. And at this point, every opponent is going to be really tough. It's going to be a big challenge. But I know the guys, they should be so confident in the way they're playing and the way they believe in each other and their chemistry. And another thing we talked about how they defend. And one thing that Dave has really been a huge impact on is the team has bought into sharing the basketball. They pass the ball so well. You look at Fode, and he's an unbelievable scorer and rebounder. He's a great passer. Mm-hmm. All these guys on the floor, they will make that extra pass. They're not concerned about what their numbers are, but they'll make the right play at the right time, and they have consistently done that the majority of the time this year.
Should be exciting. 7:00 on Thursday, our time, 7:00 Central Time. Jason will be on Channel 977 FM at AM 1020 with Spartan basketball. And then win or lose, they play on Friday also.
Yep, 3 games unless if we would lose 2 in a row, we'd be finished after that.
Yeah, okay.
But we'll not plan on that anyway.
No. Long bus ride, and I imagine Coach Cressup has a practice plan somewhere along the way. And
yeah, we're getting on the bus this time. What time is it? This time tomorrow, we'll probably be driving through the cities. We're getting on the bus tomorrow morning, and going to be a practice in Madison, Wisconsin at Madison Area Tech.
Okay.
And stop there to practice and get out and stretch, and a few stops to eat, and then go straight through overnight, and hopefully in New York late Monday morning around noon or somewhere in there. So,
well, enjoy it. It's going to be a fun time for fans, I know, to tune it in and catch the action on 977. I'm so happy you get to do the broadcast as a former Spartan, and possibility another one of Jason's records might go away this year.
Which one? Oh, yeah.
I'll let you tell them about that during the broadcast.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Craig. Thanks for having me up.
Jason Retzloff, who is a broadcaster with us now, and we put him to work as much as we can. So he'll be covering the Spartans out in Herkimer, New York. Hey, that's going to do it for the Coaches Show this year. Thanks to all the coaches for coming in week after week to talk with us on Saturday mornings. We always enjoy it and appreciate it, and we thank you for listening or watching or both to the Coaches Show here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app.